Hello, Pretty Geeks, and welcome to a Sophie and Toffee Elves box unboxing. It is May. I just got this box like 2 or 3 days ago, but honestly, I'm losing track of the days a little bit. We've been working crazy hours, but I've been so excited and waiting to open it until I can open it with y'all. So let's see what's inside. And I have no idea which one of these is this one. It's the mini greenhouse. Oh my stars. There's a reason why this one is my absolute favorite present here. So, let's get into it. We have these mini flowers. And I'm going to take these out. I'm so heckin' excited. They have this pretty pink, like mini flocking. It's like a little bush. You can do like a little lady. We'll put them in little pots. So cute. And we have a 2-part garden pot mold. And these are like the inserts, so they are like proper pots. They're not going to be solid. They will have like little inserts. So I guess if you wanted to, you could make them fully solid, so you could just put your plants on top. But to save on resin and to make them actual like inset pots, you would just put these inside. And they are really soft silicone. So this one is like a rounded sort of shape. This one has really cute flowers all around. And this one is like that typical like terracotta pot shape that you see in gardens everywhere. So you can make quite a few different styles. And then this guy pops in once you have it in there. You see it takes out that section in the middle, and the top fits on snugly without any like make issues. There's also some vent holes, so if you do overfill, it will come out and you can clean it off, so they're not going to have to worry too much about flashing. Yeah, just measure a little bit carefully. Don't fill all the way up to the tippy top, and you should be good. And of course, if you pre-measure and get, you know, a feel for how much you need, the easiest way to do that is to pour in some rubbing alcohol. I don't typically use water because it might not evaporate and it can mess with the way that resin cures, but rubbing alcohol doesn't interfere with that and it evaporates really well. Speaking of resin, we do have some resin here. We have 100 grams total, so 50 grams of each. This is a 1-to-1 ratio epoxy resin, so you would measure it out, mix it together really quite well. And this is one where you're going to want some proper PPE. Make sure that it doesn't touch your hands and your skin, doesn't get on your clothing and things like that. Mix it really well, and then you'll be able to set it for a while. You can tint these. You can add a couple drops of pigment. You can use makeup powder. You can use a tiny bit of paint, other pigments that you have for stuff like that. And then you want to wait. So it's best to wait at least 24 hours before demolding. Some pieces you can get out a little bit earlier than that if you want them to be flexible. That's going to take a little bit more practice. So if you want a hard finished piece, wait at least 24 hours. Some resins take 72 hours to cure completely, but it should be able to be demolded within 24 hours with this one. And even though this wasn't on our list, we did also get an odorless LED resin. So this is like a UV resin, but LED friendly. I love the LED UV resins. This is the hard type, which is so perfect for little molds, especially if you're capturing really fine details. Again, you can dye this, but you're going to want to be a little bit more careful for using anything that is opaque. You're not going to want to make it so that light can't get past through it, because it hardens through light. We got a good size gram. It's 70 grams in here, so in comparison, pretty hootin' good. So you can use a UV LED light on here 30 to 90 seconds and it is boom, ready. Don't do deep pours with it, but we're not really worried about deep pours with this one because our mold here is a garden stand. I know it's gonna be a little bit tricky to see all the details, so I'm gonna hold them up best I can. We've got like our trellis and our fence pieces. They don't quite match up to the illustrations that we got, all of our spoilers and things like that, and that's just the norm. But what matters is that the pieces came in and they are gorgeous. There's this beautiful faux wood texture inside of here. I'm so hecking excited to be making this. And the faux wood texture is inside here along all the side for all this fencing. And this one as well, I don't know if you can get some of the detail here. Yeah, that's a bit better. You can see it on some angles. We've got a really beautiful wood texture and it's actually quite lifted. That's really quite nice. And it's going to take a little bit of fiddling to see exactly how everything fits together, but I feel like it's going to go together really quite nicely. But it is going to be a proper little plant stand. How fabulous is that? So we have our shelves, we have our wood pieces. I want to say I want to even use a lot of these just as shelves for in regular dollhousey builds, but you really can't do better than some of the molds that Sophie and Toffee does. They are thick, they are sturdy. I'm really happy with them, and these new softer silicone ones that they've been making the last few renditions are such nice quality. I'm really quite happy with that. So really pretty. And we also got some green air dry clay. I was thinking that this was going to be more of like a fluffy sort of flocking material, but it is like a hard, more plasticky type. So not saying that it's not going to be able to like flip and fluff because I haven't played with it yet. It's still perfectly sealed. But it's going to take some definite experimentation. I think with this more firm texture, you can kind of see where it's a little bit stuck to the bag here. It's going to be great for some of those thicker stems and doing leaves and things like that. So I'm kind of happy that's not flocking because I have actual flocking for that, which is going to be really quite cool. And we can still use some of our needle tools, or if you don't have a needle tool, you can make one really easily with a needle and pencil eraser and kind of texturize it if you want more of like a mossy backdrop to things. So we have just a tiny bit. It's just 20 grams, but this is going to go really quite far. Next, we have some copper wire, and I was thinking this was going to be copper colored as well, but it is a green copper wire, and that's really kind of cool. I had different ideas for it when I was thinking it was going to be copper colored, but I have copper colored copper wire. I have silver toned wire. I have gold toned wire. I don't think I have this gauge of green wire. I know I have green wire for working with florals, but this is a super fine 0.3 millimeter. So it was supposed to be 3 millimeters. So this is a, yeah, that 0.3. So super duper fine, like a metal thread in green. Really, really pretty. That is going to be so great for stems, especially wrapping it just once or twice. And then I was anticipating little bitty micas, and instead we've got these big boys. So I've got a very beautiful shell pink. I adore this color. I think it's so, so pretty. And this light white as well. They are going to look so stunning. They're reflecting my computer screen a little bit. I apologize. It has just the most slight iridescence to it, but there's no rainbow to it at all. It picks up whatever is around it. A really beautiful white. We have a copper. They do all have numbers on them, but I don't know what they match up to. So if that means anything to you, this is a 20, a 10, a 2, and an 8. So we've got a copper, and then we have a pewter. So a deep, deep gray or light black. really, really quite pretty colors. And I think they're going to work really well together. So a really pretty color palette. I think you can really use for a lot of things. I use this color palette for a lot of things. I feel like I have these colors, but they also work really well with one another, and they're going to look stunning with the greens. And yes, that is everything that came in here. So we will be making these cute little boxes. So we do get some instructions. I think I'm going to try it with the copper mica and see if that's not like too much metallic, too much texture. Might try it with some matte paint maybe. I know I mentioned it in a previous video. I am doing 3 classes for the public summer school this year. I'm doing 2 versions of world building. So we're talking about like creating characters, making our story. We're applying world building as far as to gaming, to story making, to that background of like how do you create like a functional world. And some of those things that we're doing is making miniatures, which is really, really cool because I love it for those tabletop games. I love it for having models for video gaming, and I love it for having like this tactile representation of your stories. So I'm really excited because I'm going to bring my kiddos lots of mini things and teach them to make lots of mini things. We do get a full color guide. I love it when they have lots of pages and lots to do. So we have this one is a little planter box. I can see a lot of uses for this one. Need me some crates. And there are some general ideas. So it'll take a little bit of funky finessing, and I might take Sharpie to like the back of my design, or maybe a different, something permanent that won't come off with acetone. Or rubbing alcohol to the back of it, just so I can kind of tell all the shapes. But you can kind of see a little bit better here than my explanation of how all the pieces go together. And then you gotta kind of turn your book here to see how they all slot together. A really heckin' cool plant stand. I could see it being upcycled into a store display as well. I could see that. It might need some walls to do like shelving for a sort of shop as well. And then some ideas for how to decorate our cool little pots and such things. We didn't get a thread, but I would love to see a little macrame. So they have that kind of sketched out, and I know I've seen that. I have failed miserably at doing tiny macrame, but that sounds fabulous. We can use the wire to make holders, Sharpie paint, and etc. And of course, our community showcase. Wonderful friends doing wonderful things. And if you need extra tutorials or to check out the blogs and things like that, you can see them right here. Here's all of the socials. I hope this was exciting for you as it was for me. We have a whole lot more coming up. I've got a pretty selfish one coming up. It's going to be a pretty great gift, I think, for my birthday. I'm getting the nail one coming up, so I'm quite excited. All right, that's all I have for you all today. Bye, friends.